I've got on my bench a Samsung ln40B530 P7F. It is completely dead, and I understand the TV took a tumble and then it stopped working. So we don't know what to look for on this at this point. There's no power from the power supply, or no clicks, no lights, no nothing. It is totally dead. So we're going to take the back off this thing and see if it's something obvious that's gone bad on it, like a broken board. You notice that the HDMI cable has been ripped right off the back. So when it fell, it really fell good and it ripped the cable, ripped the HDMI cable in half. So, don't know what we're looking at here yet. I don't have the back off it, but the fact that it doesn't click or anything is going to point me towards the power supply before I get any further on anything else. It doesn't appear to have any standby voltages. I don't hear any relays clicking or anything when I hit the power button. So we'll lift the back off the set, and we'll see that the power connector actually is directly attached to the main power supply board. So the first place I'm going to look on this set is for a break on this power supply board, because I know the history of the TV, and the TV was knocked down. I'm going to look in the area of where this connector is, right here, for a break on this board, because that would be consistent with a fall. The power connector here getting torqued as the set came off its stand could have very easily broken the board below. So let's get a look at the board. A close-up of the corner of the board here confirms what I thought I might find. It's obvious we have a crack on the board. We can see it right here. So let's get the board out and see how severe the damage is. So the board's just going to unscrew. With these 4 grounding screws. And we'll unplug the main power connector that drives the main board. Now this main power supply also contains the inverter for the back lamp. So we just unplug it like that. There's all these little tabs along the edge which connect it to the backlight. Flip the board over, and aha, we got a real nice crack right across the bottom of the board here, right at our power input. So I think I can say fairly confidently that this is going to be the only problem with this television, is that our power connector is snapped off, and this is going to be a real easy fix, and it's going to make the guy that owns this set really happy, and I'll be a hero for fixing his TV that his grandson, I think it was his grandson, he said, knocked it over. Anyway, let's get the soldering iron warmed up and we'll fix this connector, and I bet you that's all that's wrong with this one. So we're just going to bridge some bare copper wire over the damaged section of a PC board here. My soldering iron is almost at the extent that it can go to make it over here, so I'm just going to put some tin on the board, on the fuse, and on the power connector itself. And then we'll just take some bare copper wire and we'll just solder it across the break on the board. There's one trace repaired. We'll do the same for the other traces. There's 3. It looks like there's 3 traces that are damaged on the set. So here's a second trace here. My third trace is the ground wire. Since this one's a little longer, I'll leave some of the insulation on this wire. And we'll just go from where I can see it connecting right up here. And that one goes right down to the end here, right down to the ground prong over here, the earth connector for the power plug. That should have my board repaired. Now we can just reinstall the board and test the set. So the board just slides back in place here. It'll line up all these power connectors. These are for the fluorescent backlights. Slide it in place and replace the screws. Reattach the power connector. Now we'll stand the TV up and test it. The moment of truth. That's a good sound. Uh-oh. Houston, we have a problem. Looks like the screen may have been damaged too. Looks like the screen's screwed on this. Unfortunately, that's what happens when you drop TVs. Even when the screen isn't physically broken, we've got a electrical problem on the screen. So that's how the picture looks when we put a signal on it. It looks horrible. And that's going to be a screen damage there. That can be anything but screen damage. Unfortunately, this one's going in the dumpster.